Well, this is exactly what Mikel Arteta would have been worried about, people, when we went into this international break, the second international break of the season. More injuries. And listen, we're not hearing of anything extremely substantial yet. We're not hearing that any players out for 3-4 months or something, but there have been updates around Gabriel Martinelli and a potential tendon issue. Some reports actually around Takehiro Tomiyasu, which have only come out in the last hour or so, and updates around Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard. That can be seen as perhaps more positive, but in the first place, the fact that they're injured in any way, shape, or form is slightly concerning. So we're going to talk about each one of those players: Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, and Tomiyasu. What we knew, what we know, what's being said. We'll get your thoughts, we'll get your comments. Talk about the what it is with Arsenal that have been a little bit more unfortunate on the injury front, certainly at the start of this season, that we were last season. I mean, of course, last season the main injuries were during Timber, an hour into the season, missing the whole season pretty much, other than the last half hour. Basically completed 190 minutes of Premier League football across a potential 38 games. We know that was a knee problem. Was it ACL, I think, that kept him out pretty much all season? And then you've got the Thomas Partey injuries that kept him up pretty much up to the run-in as well. They were the two major concerns. Martinelli out here and there. Odegaard missed a small spell of football. Saka missed one or two big games, but that was kind of it. Arsenal were largely pretty fortunate, while other rivals were a little bit more unfortunate. The likes of Man United and Chelsea in particular I could think of, but there's probably others. Now we're in a situation where, again, none of the injury reports that we're sort of hearing about at the moment are sort of saying anything too distressing from an Arsenal kind of injury perspective, but there is plenty there to make you think that, Arsenal are a little bit more unfortunate so far at the start of the season where last season. I mean, who's missed so far? I mean, Timber, of course, missed the Southampton game. Calafiori had an injury before. What else have we had going into the start of the season? Of course, Martin Odegaard we've talked about. Gabby Jesus missed a couple games because of an injury. Zinchenko's missed some games. Tomiyasu started the season off injured. So, yeah, a couple of Mikel Merino. So that's quite a few players I've mentioned there already. Now, as I'm talking, there are updates just going on in a WhatsApp group. No, all good. Just checking, because sometimes injury news filters through. So I was just going to keep checking my phone every now and again to make sure I don't miss anything while I'm live. But hello, everyone. Hope you're all good. Sorry for the very long intro there. Haven't done a live since, I think, Thursday last week was the last time we did live or put any content out. To be quite frank, there's just not been a lot happening in the Arsenal one. I've had bits and bobs to get on with as well. The Goonerverse podcast is back this week. That should be out on Wednesday. Shura and I will just be chatting about what's to come, really, in the next 4 weeks till the next international break, and that's the final one before a big break in March. Look, let's stop boring you and go into what we do have in terms of the news. But welcome back, everyone. Let's go through some comments. Is the Saka injury major? Alex, no, doesn't look like it is. Arsenal News 7 saying these international breaks are killing us. We've been a touch more unfortunate than normal, haven't we? But we'll go through all that in a second. Chris, we've got to talk about all this as well. Tommy injured. I am shocked. I know. I love Tomiyasu, and he's an uber professional, but he's had a lot of injuries. Now, this one is one report. Let's see if more comes out, but we will discuss it. What else have we got? Tamina says, Martinelli will be fine Saturday. Don't worry about it. And Ben J97S is saying Saka is fine. All right, let's go through everything that we know, and I've prepared a few little graphics just so that we can all see exactly where the information is coming from. So this was from Fabrizio Romano on Martinelli. Start with that. He says that Arsenal staff are in contact with Brazil as Gabriel Martinelli felt pain in his right calf and underwent an MRI on Sunday. CBF confirmed there's a small muscle edema in the area and he is undergoing treatment. You know what I should have done before this? I should have looked up what an edema is. So let's find out now. What's an edema? Edema? Is it an edema? What is an edema? What is it? This swelling, the result of too much fluid in the tissues. Okay, so it looks like it's a type of swelling. Okay, there we go. So let's just bring that back up from Fabrizio Romano. Fabrizio Romano is always, I mean, people might accuse him of tweeting too much about things or maybe going overkill on a story, but his news and information is almost always spot on. And there you go. The Arsenal staff are in contact with Martinelli with Brazil over Martinelli, and it's a right calf. And yeah, it looks like there's some sort of fluid in there, or a slight pain there. Now, this is actually built on by Conor Ham, who has said that Gabriel Martinelli arrived with Brazil with the team doctor, according to TNT Sports Brazil. He felt discomfort in his tendon and went to undergo tests on Sunday. It's thought not to be serious, but he's expected to miss the Peru match on Tuesday. He has tape on his right leg. Look, for what it's worth, I mean, I asked the question when it came to Bukayo Saka going off in the England game, around the 50th minute. I asked the question not to, I wasn't putting into question his professionalism, whatever, but I just wonder whether these Arsenal players are under really strict instruction. If you feel anything at all, don't risk it. Come home. Bukayo Saka, has gone home to London Colney, where he's being looked after by the Arsenal medical staff. We'll talk about Bukayo Saka in more detail. On the Gabriel Martinelli front, it feels like there's something genuinely there. I mean, he's undergoing scans and treatment and everything. He's going to miss the Peru match. And let me also just say something where I think Saka Martinelli's situations differ slightly from a personal perspective on the players. Now, while I caveat by saying both players absolutely want to play for their nations and they want to give their best and they want to play football, that is a blanket statement. I think it's absolutely true of the two of them. But if you just look at their personal situation slightly differently, Bukayo Saka is playing for an assistant manager in Lee Carsley, interim manager in Lee Carsley, who's unlikely, as it stands, to get the England job. He's been a mainstay in the team, and even with the, Phil Foden season he just put up, even with Cole Palmer being superb and being able to play on the right-hand side, Bukayo Saka's always retained his place. And in fact, he broke through when Rashford, Sterling and those players were kind of regulars in the England team. So Bukayo Saka's kind of really cemented in the last 3 years his place as Arsenal and England's first-choice right winger. Gabriel Martinelli, he's battling for the likes of Vinicius Junior's place, hoping that he can force himself into another area of the pitch or Vinicius into another. Then you've got Rodrigo. There's so many talented Brazilians. Endrick on his way up, another player that plays in that front three, that I think Martinelli is more likely to basically, again, without saying that Saka isn't as committed to England, I think he's fantastically committed to England. But I think Gabriel Martinelli is probably more likely to really give that extra fight and that little bit extra at the moment to try and battle for his place into the team. He's got to travel a long way to play these friendlies. So I do think it's a slightly different situation, which I don't think Martinelli is ever going to fake an injury just to get out of playing, for Brazil because Arsenal wait. I think he's always going to give his all. And like I said, Saka too. I'm sure you understand the differences that I'm alluding to there. The big question is, again, are they under some sort of instruction where it's like, look, if you feel something at all, just please don't risk it. Just please, please, please don't risk it. That's how we feel as fans. And I imagine that's how the club's feeling at the moment because there's so much football being played. That I think that's probably a general rule in the season as a whole. I mean, we kind of apply that to the internationals. But what about for the players all season in general? What about for the players when they're with their clubs as well? If there's a case where we're playing so much football, there's so much football to be played across the club campaign that if Timber, for example, had to felt something slight against PSG, with the size of score we had in particular, it's a case of just don't play, go and recover and be fit and come back and play when you're genuinely good to go and there's no discomfort there that we could be making worse. I think that might be a general rule that's being applied for all the players in general, which makes sense, like I said, with the amount of football they're playing. So I hope Gabriel Martinelli is okay. I do hope he comes back and is back early, is able to get back with the club, get over whatever he's got to get over, whether that be jet lag, whether that be the injury, whether that be recovery time, rest, whatever he needs. Because I think he's starting to find his best form. I think putting in big shifts away at Tottenham. Actually, I think in that Brighton game too, if we're looking pure at the Premier League, Brighton, Tottenham, Man City, I thought, against PSG worked very hard. But again, the Atalanta Champions League away games kind of wedged in there too. I hope he can kind of get the necessary rest. And then coming back into the Leicester and Southampton games, I felt he was starting, only came off the bench against Southampton, but of course got that crucial second goal. I felt he was starting to show bits of the Martinelli of old, right? The Martinelli of 2 seasons ago, the 22-23 season where he was scintillating with 15 non-penalty goals. So I really hope we can get Martinelli just fit and looked after because I think he's starting to build back up to that. And I think he absolutely deserves his place in the 11 right now, despite Trossard's form, despite the signing of Raheem Sterling, and whatever other pressures there are. Jesus can play out there. So, yeah, let's hope he's okay. Spent a lot of time on the Martinelli one just because that's kind of the fresh one from today. And it's also got the most reports and the most backing. It feels the most genuine kind of injury report out there at the moment. We'll go through everything else I said, but let's go through some comments. Where are Timber and White? I think they're probably okay. I knowing nothing, I am predicting they'll be fine for Bournemouth this weekend. Some people are saying that no, regardless of how many videos I make, they're not going to scrap the Nations League. I don't want them to scrap the Nations League, to be honest. Have to try to be late. Sorry, I'm on time. Apologies. Boston and Grace confirmed that edema or edema. Tell me how to pronounce it. That is a swelling. Fantastic. Thank you for confirming that. And luckily, I did the quick Google, which I should have done before. Boston, welcome. Hope you are good, my friend. The casual gunner says we should start Ethan Waneri while Odegaard is out. A lot of people calling for that. I hear it, but Trossard's been playing really well in the 10. Mohammed, hope you've answered that. Just some quick updates on Gabriel Martinelli and what's being said. And I think I've covered everything else. Of course, is Havertz. Okay, that's another one. Sorry. Havertz, Timber, they didn't go on international duty because of injuries. Partey was ill and didn't go on international duty. So, yeah, there you go. Those are the kind of brief updates. Let's go through some other stuff. That was on Martinelli. Let's go to Tomiyasu now. So, Martinelli was the stuff earlier today, and this came from Team Talk, where they basically said that sources have confirmed to Team North that Arsenal are seriously concerned Takahiro Tomiyasu suffered a recurrence of his knee problem in his short appearance against Southampton, and he could now be out of action for another month. Team Talk have, I believe, around 99,000 followers on X, Twitter. So I guess, does that give them any, I don't know, does that give them any, what's the word, reliability points? Probably not, but it's just interesting to know there's a big following there that clearly keep up with what they have to say in their updates. They do claim to have transfer exclusives and stuff, and this is one of theirs that's been shared by AFC stuff, and a lot of these aggregators only share stuff from people they believe are genuinely or at least somewhat reliable. So they're the only people saying at the moment, Team Talk, at the time of recording, from what I can see. What do I make of it? Do I think it's true? Do I think it's surprising? What do I make of Tomiyasu in his future? Let's try and answer that all now. In terms of what I think it's true, 50-50. I have no idea. It could be. I mean, Tomiyasu got injured I think in pre-season, and I believe he might have played one or two of the early behind closed doors pre-season games, but he didn't go on to the US tour. Maybe he didn't play the behind closed doors one. Maybe I'm wrong. But he definitely finished the season strong for us, right? I remember him starting away at Tottenham, I think he started away at Man United. Obviously scored in the final day to get us that crucial equaliser against Everton. So Tomiyasu did have a little bit of a run, went into the summer, and then sort of came out of it, as we were ready for pre-season, came out of it injured, disappointingly. Now, the feeling was he was going to miss pre-season, but he in fact missed, let's be honest, he missed 2 months of this season. We came back mid-August, and he came back just before the second international break. So he missed basically 3 months out. Now, sorry, what did they say it was? They said it was a knee problem. Yes, a recurrence of his knee problem. He's had lots of, I think, was there a knee problem he had against Sporting? I think it was. But he's had other problems like muscle pulls and things like that. Should we find out? Should we have a little look at Tomiyasu's injury record? Tomiyasu injury record. Let's remind ourselves. Let's do this properly. Sorry, everyone. Bear with me while I get this up in front of me properly. Right. I think I've got it here. Yeah, I do. Right. Present. Share screen. Here we go. Right, you can see that, yep. Although I've made it a bit too small, so let's do this. Okay. Doesn't really make any difference, but anyway, you can see that. So, what have we got here? Knee injury, kept him out for, 85 days. I mean, 30 days a month? 3 months he's missed from July 21st, as according to Transfermarkt. He's in that time had a calf injury, 2 of them last season. That kept him out for 44 days and 27 days. The season before that, he missed 107 days. That's 16 games for Arsenal and Japan with knee surgery. So it was knee surgery, March 16th against Sporting that had him out. But it was muscular problems that had him out for 12 days before that. Now, it was the season before where he was kind of totally fit for most of the campaign. And suddenly, out of nowhere, was just absent for 2 months, 60 days with a calf problem. So calf, muscular, calf. Those are the kind of problems he'd been having. You look before that, but knee problems is not a surprising thing, having had a pretty major one this season already. 3 months is pretty long, right? And then another 2. 2 at Arsenal and then 1 at Bologna, although this was just before he signed for Arsenal as well, and did sort of have other injuries at Bologna. All right, we'll leave that there. I mean, there you go. That's his injury history, Tomiyasu's, and it's disappointing. I mean, there is a frustration when a player gets injured. As Arsenal fans, we get annoyed about it because we're like, you know, we're angry. We almost take it personally. Why are you not fit? Get ready. We start thinking like maybe there's something wrong with it. They're not looking after themselves. Their diet's not right. Their fitness regime is right. Whatever it might be, and it's just pure bad luck. These are players at the very, very top in peak physical condition, and they're being looked after by complete experts, people who know what they're doing when it comes to looking after players, people who know how to manage injuries, manage, what's the word? Overload of exercise and things like that. And Tomiyasu's just unfortunate. He's just injury prone, as was Jack Wilshere, as was Abu Diaby. You know, these players just had an ability to get more injuries than others, and it's unfortunate. It really is. I think some of it can just be coincidence. Some of it might be something to do with their body that results in that. I don't know, but I've got no doubt that Takehiro Tomiyasu, if this is true, and again, it's coming from Team Talk, if this is true, we hope he's okay. But he's trying to get fit. I've got no doubt about it. The problem is, as much as I've tried to give context there with the, look at his injury history and how much I've tried to defend him and acknowledge that he wants to be fit, football's a very ruthless business. It just is. And I think if Tomiyasu can't prove his fitness this season, which already he's not, let's be honest, but let's say he is fit and this report isn't true, or let's also say that he does come back in a month and he's fit for the rest of the campaign, he's brilliant. I think unless he basically proves his fitness, I think you've got to look to cash in on a player like Takehiro Tomiyasu because you've got Timber and Calafiori. So I don't think he's a starting player for us. And I still think Tomiyasu's stock is at a level where you maybe get 15, 20 million for him, even though he's a better player than that. Even though fully fit Tomiyasu for me is a 40 million pound player, he's not keeping fit. And I think if he can't prove his fitness this summer, then Arsenal do have to go and look and see if there's kind of a buyer out there and move on and try and replace that player in the squad. I will say, though, this about Tomiyasu. Arteta clearly loves him and really has trusted him in big games and in big moments and has wanted him fit. I think has sometimes played him when he's not quite fit, if I'm not mistaken. I also think with Tomiyasu, the fact he can play across the back three and a back four, should I say, but three positions, and the fact that he's injury prone, when you've got all these other players and the amount of squad depth we do, you do kind of think, well, actually, is he a player that Arteta likes so much that he's willing to put up with the injury record purely because he can play lots of different positions, and when he's fit, you can use him, and that's a great squad player to have, but when he's not, you're still covered? That might be one way to look at it, but yeah. I don't think he's on a major salary either. I don't think he's on like 100, 200,000 a week. I don't think he's on anything that makes you think we need to clear the wage bill of a player like Tomiyasu who's earning loads and barely play. I don't think it's that kind of situation. So yeah, I don't know. I'm mixed feelings about this one. I hope he's okay. I hope he's all right. I'm not really panicking because we're so stacked there, like I would have been two years ago, where it really felt like he would have been a big miss. But at the same time, it's just feeling like one injury too many at this point, isn't it? Let me see what the comments are saying. Let me see what the comments are, because I've been quite fair, but I feel like maybe some of you will be a bit harsher, and maybe that's needed. Suj, always a pleasure, man. Hope you're well. And yeah, should we do the old thumbs up thing? There we go. Hit the like button, everyone. Big up, everyone. Says Ryan, Arsenal. Oslo Gooner says, poor Tomiyasu is made of glass. At this point, we need his spot to go to an injury-free player. I did ask the question just there, and I know this comment would have come in. What's this? 8 minutes ago, Oslo Gooner. So apologies, but asking the question is, do you put up with an injury-prone player if ultimately they have the quality and you're so stacked there anyway? What else have we got? Lots of love in the comments. You love to see it. Sell him in January. I think that'd be too soon, personally. Yeah, I think that would be too soon. See, this is what I mean. People get annoyed. Sell Tomiyasu ASAP, and you can read the rest. It's like, but it doesn't mean to be. I get it. I get it. I'm annoyed too that he's injured, but I'm not annoyed at him, if that makes sense. He doesn't mean to be. What else have we got? Cabello puts it differently, says I wouldn't be mad if we sold him in January. I mean, Tommy has quality as he is. Yeah, he does. DJ064, always good to see in the comments. Hope you're well. Big up, James. If we sell Tommy in Jan, do you think we should replace him in the same window? Yeah, I think you do. I think if you're selling him, you replace him. I think you have to. Do I think we'll bring anyone in January, says Matt? No, actually, I don't, if I'm honest. I think we... So, sorry, everyone. You're going to hear this sound, right? We've got this robot Hoover that we installed today. Can you hear that? This is nuts. Okay, this is... I wasn't expecting this. So we have a robot Hoover, which we bought the other day. Don't ask me why. Stupid purchase. And we set it up today, and it's just set itself. It's just decided to go for a Hoover at 6:20. I wish I could show you this. I might. This is nuts. Oh, no. Now he's gone and got stuck. Oh, no. He's pulled himself out. Oh, this is crazy. Okay. Tune into the Goonerverse podcast tomorrow, and I'll show you a clip of this. I hope this sound isn't being picked up on the mic. We're just going to have to power through. I'm so sorry. Shall I lock him out the door? We're going to lock him out the door. Bear with me 1 second, everyone. I'm so sorry about this. Oh, I'm back. And he's been locked out. Yeah, anyway. There we go. I wasn't expecting that. It totally threw me off. Sorry, everyone. No, I don't think we'll sign anyone in January. This squad's quite good. Let's see what you're all saying. He's controlling the robot. The robots are after Jay. Yeah, it's a robot Hoover. It's like a Hoover thing that, like, it maps out where your room is. Like, it maps out the apartment with sensors, and then it just goes on a wander every now and again. But it went off earlier today. I don't know. I'm getting used to it. Yeah. Okay, you heard it. So you don't think I'm going nuts? But yeah, there we go. That was so random. Yeah, like I don't know what the hell just happened there. AI is taking over. I don't know. It's crazy. I'm gonna get footage of this if I remember. I'll try and remember and put a clip of this in the Goonerverse podcast tomorrow, because that was really, really strange. It'll be me and Sharoy. Anyway, sorry about that. Does it work well? My brother's just smashed crumbs and spread them across the floor. First day having it. Hence, I didn't know it was going to go off at a random time. But anyway, that is so weird. Right, back to it. Let me try concentrate. Right, yeah, the Hoovers played more football than Tomiyasu, literally. Anyway, cool. Back to it, because we've only got about 6 minutes left. Let's just give you the updates on everything else around Saka and Odegaard. And you pretty much kept up to date with all this. We may as well just quickly let you know. So on Saka, Sky Sports News reported that Saka continues to be addressed by the Arsenal medical team after arriving this morning. Meanwhile, contrary to reports on social media, Martinelli Tomiyasu has not suffered a setback, and Arsenal are hopeful he can return from his ankle injury in November. Okay, so on Saka, being assessed by the medical team, I did a live stream. Oh, he's trying to get back in. The Hoover's trying to get back in. I didn't let him. Okay, it's fine. Sorry, this is all very unnerving. Anyway, back to it. So it continues to be assessed by the medical team. We knew all this. I did a live, and even at the time, we said he was probably going to go back. He did go back to be with the Arsenal medical team, London Colney, and he's okay. Well, sorry, I say he's okay. there were reports that it was nothing serious and that it was more. I mean, even Lee Carsley came out and said, "Look, it wouldn't have been fair to kind of force him out in this game." Who did they play the other day? Finland. So ultimately, it was precautionary. Let's hope he's okay for Bournemouth. I think he probably will be, but everyone being sensible there. Now, on the Odegaard thing there, Sky Sports saying that Odegaard is expected to be back in November, according to that's what Arsenal are saying, that they're hopeful he'll still be back. Now, the reason this all blew up is because of this tweet from Con Harrison saying that Martin Odegaard suffered a setback in his recovery. Expectation is that he's not set to return until December. Now, what happens when ITKs come forward with stuff? They're putting their necks on the line. If they get it wrong, people are kind of there to remind them they got it wrong. I report what ITK say in my videos and in my streams because a lot of them have a really good track record, and Con Harrison has got a lot of stuff right. I'm not here to judge his sources or his work. I kind of am, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm not going to sort of be too hard one way or another in my perception of all that. Con, is basically, actually, to be fair, on Twitter has been quite robust in saying, look, we will see. This is what I've been told. And, he's basically sticking to his guns no matter what Sky Sports are saying. So we will see. It could be that Arsenal anticipate late November and it creeps into December and Con will be proven right. It could be that there has been no setback. I don't know. What I would say about this is, with injury news, I think it's always hard, whether it comes from ITKs, whether it comes from reporters, or it comes from Arteta's mouth. I mean, Arteta originally said a few weeks for Mourinho. Then all the reports said it's going to be 2 months. Next thing, he's lining up to face PSG. Tomiyasu, we were told just pre-season, he actually missed the first 2 months of the season. I think it's always difficult. On Odegaard, I think the important thing is just sit tight, don't stress. We weren't expecting to have him for these first games coming back for the international break. This robot's trying to break back in, but that's a weird sentence. I never thought I'd say, but there we go. But with Odegaard, let's just hang tight. We weren't expected to have him. I think we were hopeful we'd have him for kind of that cluster of like Liverpool, Inter, Chelsea, Newcastle, all those games. Let's wait and see. It's a real shame he's missing so much of the season, and especially the parts of the season when we've had 2 real clusters of difficult matches. But just recover, take the time you need, Martin, and then come back ready to go, and it'll be a big boost when we have him back. I hope Nwaneri plays some football. I do. But Trossard's doing well in the 10, and Arteta has always valued experience. He will give Nwaneri that game time as he sees fit. But I don't think he's going to be playing that much football. Of course, we do have a Carabao Cup game to go. Should we have a look at what these upcoming games are? Actually, no, I'm not. I'll tell you why I'm not, because that's going to be a big part of what we do in the podcast with Sharoy. So, yes, we won't delve into that yet. That will be out on Wednesday. But yeah, those are all the updates. Romano and Martinelli saying that felt pain in his right calf and that he's having some treatment. Connor saying that it's not expected to be serious, but he did miss the Peru game. Tomiyasu, according to Team Talk, might be out for another month with a recurrence of the knee injury. Saka, according to Sky Sports, is back with Arsenal. Odegaard is still expected to be back in November, despite Connor thinking it could be December. But let's wait and see. Everyone, final comments before we round things up. We do have some super chats. Wow, thank you very much. Arteta Border says, random question. But you have very good morals. God, thank you. It's very kind. Good empathy, and you're a decent person, which is rare to find. Does that come? Wow. Okay. Sorry. That's very kind. That's very that's lovely. I mean, I hope I'm all those things. I obviously want to be. My parents were fantastic, and my grandparents were amazing as well. So yeah, love to them for who I am and where I am now. So yeah, if you like me, thank them. If you don't like me, blame them. No, look, appreciate that's a very, very kind, not only the comment but the super chat. It's caught me off guard there, Arteta Border. So yeah, thank you. That's very, very, very kind of you. Suj says, come on, people. If I can be here at 3:30 a.m., you can like and subscribe. Road to 50k. Big things to come on the Goonerverse. Absolutely, Suj. More to come. And not just on the Goonerverse. More things to come outside of no. Outside of Arsenal, but still in the football space. But yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Liverpool on the 27th. Is there any hope? That's the 27th of October. No. Sorry, I don't think so. What else have we got? All I'm thinking about is the Hoover now, says P. Singh. Yeah, I know. I need to go deal with that now. That's all a bit nuts. What else have we says? What else have we got? Yeah, sorry, I've seen this comment a few times. Let me just yes, I'm still with AFTV. Don't worry, people, just because I'm doing more content here on the Goonerverse as well. But yes, I'm still with AFTV. You'll see me and Tesh got behind the numbers this week. Forever Arsenal. I think I'll do a live stream with Robbie as well this week. So plenty to come. I've just had some sort of things going on in the last week, so you haven't seen me as much. Hence, I've also not been doing as much content here on the Goonerverse across the weekend. International break, partly due to that as well, but just some other bits and bobs which are all sorted now. So yeah, just live things. But I hope you're all good, people. I hope you're all well on this Monday night, 6:30. We're going to round it off there. Catch us for the Goonerverse podcast Wednesday. I'm recording it tomorrow night, but it'll be Wednesday. In fact, if you've got any comments for us, leave them down in the comment section. I did see your suggestions for other people to bring on the Goonerverse as well. And of course, we'll reach out to all of them. But thank you all. Those are the injury updates. Hope you enjoyed it. I want to go deal with my robot Hoover. Catch you in a bit.